Well, welcome to our Bible session. We have a very special weekend. I believe it's Monday, this Memorial Day, and we need to remember those people. Those people gave their lives so you and I could have the freedom of being here today doing what we do. That's why this weekend is very special, because without those people offering their lives, today we wouldn't have the freedom we have. We owe them so much, and it's not just, I mean, our soldiers, what can you say? Uh, like today, they're on the battlefield taking care of business while we are at home safely. But all first responders deserves a praise that has given their lives to help people around them. We look at today no greater love. And I know that you've heard that in the Bible, John 15:13. Helps us when we reflect on Memorial Day. And it says this: no greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friend. That's what they do. I had an opportunity to serve in the military along with some others, and we understand that what we're doing. We know what could possibly could take place. Now, on Memorial Day, we want to stop and pause, not just as an individual, but as a nation, that we remember those that stood up for our country. We want to remember the brave men and the ladies and those who answered a call greater than themselves. You see, they stepped into uncertainty, into danger, into sacrifice, and many of them will never come home. Their lives were not merely lost, they were given willingly, courageously, sacrificially. And as we reflect on their sacrifice, we hear the words of Jesus echo through time: no greater love. These words were not spoken in theory. Jesus said them on the night before the cross. He knew what was coming. He knew the pain, the rejection, the suffering, and still Jesus chose love and chose to give his life for you and I. He chose to lay down his life not only for his friends, but even for those who deny him, betray him, and even those who crucified him. So today we stand at the intersection of remembrance and revelation, and Memorial Day points us to sacrifice, and Scripture shows us the greatest sources of the greatest sacrifice at all. And that is love that sacrifices. You see, true love always costs something. The men and women we honor today understood that. They went off thinking what they were doing was protecting our country, protecting our way of life, and they did so for family and for many others that live. They sacrificed themselves for the freedom that we are granted today and the freedom that we enjoy today, because without them we would not have that. And so we owe them so much that I pray that we won't forget exactly what it is that we owe them. Now, love that forgives when it hurts is what these people did. Love that serves when it's inconvenient, and love that gives without expecting anything in return. That's the love that Jesus shares with us, and that's the kind of love that these people had to go off and give their lives for us. And then we see love in a divided and hurting world. The conflicts today, there's so much of them on our media today, the political things that goes on, social, radical, religious even. We live in a world that's so divided it's unreal. Even the church itself is divided. And that's not what God intended. God intended for us to be one people united in him. But yet, we as mankind have found ways to separate that. But we need to remember, and that's the next thing, is the power of remembering. You know, there's something very deep and sacred about remembering. And throughout Scripture, God calls his people to remember. Remember his faithfulness, his deliverance, his covenant. Why? You see, because remembering shapes how we live moving forward and who we are and what we do in whose name. Memorial Day it's not just about looking back, it's about forward with gratitude and purpose. When we remember sacrifice, we are reminded that freedom is never free. And when we remember the cross, we're reminded that grace is never cheap. So we need to remember And as we do remember, it leads us to gratitude instead of entitlement, humility, instead of pride, and service instead of self-centeredness. And then, of course, living the legacy of greater love. The soldiers we honor today left a legacy of courage, service, and sacrifice. You see, the question we must wrestle with is this: what legacy are you going to leave? Jesus did not say, admire this love. He said, we are to follow this love. And how can we do that? So in your relationship, by choosing forgiveness over bitterness, in your community, by choosing service over indifference. Sometimes laying down your life doesn't mean dying. It means dying to self. It means surrendering your will, your comfort, your ego, so that Christ's love can live through you. And then hope beyond sacrifice. Memorial Day carries both sorrow and gratitude. We grieve those who are gone, but we honor what they gave. The cross carries that same tension, deep sorrow, yet unshakable hope, because Jesus did not remain in the grave. His sacrifice was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of a new life. And because he lives, love still has power. Sacrifice still has meaning, and hope is still very much alive. So even in a broken world, even in divided times, we are not without hope. The same love that helped Jesus on the cross is the same love that holds us today. So as I start bringing this to a close, think about what an important day this is. This Memorial Day, let's do more than remember. Let's respond. Let the sacrifice of the fallen stir gratitudes in our hearts. Let the sacrifice of Christ transform how we live. May we be people who love deeply and serve faithfully and give sacrificially. Because in a world searching for meaning, healing, and hope, there is no greater love than this. And we always reminded, lest we never forget the true meaning of what these people have given, because they love this country and they went and gave their life for that. So you and I could have the freedom that we have today to do the things we do. If it wasn't for them, I would be sitting here probably talking to you about what I'm talking to you about. So this weekend is important. It's a very important time and a very important bunch of people that we want to remember. So let's celebrate it. Let's enjoy it. But let's celebrate it for them and what they gave. And remember this, there's no greater love than one that gives his life for another. God bless. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week.